Hello, almost Shabbat Shalom. Hello, everyone. Wait. I want to do this again. Hold on. Okay. Look at this. I'm in this area and I become silly. I'm in this area and I become silly. I kind of like lose myself in nature. Oh, there's the camera here. There you are. Sometimes it's orientation. But anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome. This is a wonderful day. Every week is wonderful. I say it's a wonderful week. Every week it's wonderful. And you know what? And it's the thing is that sometimes only after, actually all the time, after the journey, we can make sense of what was happening. After the journey, we can make sense of things that happen and how they fit into our journey and how they help us. Do we see the help, or or what place am I inhabiting? What place are we inhabiting when we see these changes or the hints for changes, and what are we doing about this? And it's all about relationships. It's our relationship to what is happening. So what place am I inhabiting within myself? What place I'm inhabiting within myself when I'm in a relationship or when I'm making a choice in a relationship? And this is and I want to talk about a certain aspect in this weekly portion and what's happening today. We are now at a time where it is a bottleneck. We feel things that are coming to a squeeze, coming to a tight place. It's kind of like the spectrum of opportunities or the spectrum of availabilities that the universe gives us are shrinking when we don't make a choice. It's kind of like, okay, you didn't take this opportunity, okay, the next opportunity is moving. So now we are coming to a place and within ourselves, and you could feel that. You could feel it in the last few weeks, but especially this week and a half of this intensity of things that are happening intensely, of how we feel things intensely. We see people, we meet people, we feel connected to them, and that connected feeling is also intense. We feel it in every part. I know I do. And we feel it in every part, in every aspect of our being. It could be a skin, it could be a way of talking, it could be a way of feeling. So it is relationships, right? And this week's portion Pinchas, the name Pinchas. And the Torah, let me know how is the wind going and if I need to cover the mic. But the Torah is talking about Pinchas twice, spelling out his full lineage name, Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen, Pinchas the son of Elazar, the son of Aaron the priest. It's mentioned at the end of last week, and at the beginning of this portion. Now, one would say, if I just finished the portion with you spelling his full name, why do you have to spell it again? Why can you say when Pinchas redeems the people? Why to say Pinchas, the son of Elazar, the son of Aaron HaKohen, redeemed the people? And so we'll touch about this when it comes to the relation of what place do we inhabit within ourselves. Why that name was mentioned in that fashion. So what is happening in the portion is that that there's Shimon, somebody from a high priest, brought a person that is not part of the community, a person that was not a Jew, that was not part of the community, and it brought them into the temple, and everybody was like, "What's going on?" And he brought them into the temple, and Pinchas went and he killed them both. He just decided to kill them both. Now, for you who are listening, and for you who have, as they expressed to me, all kind of issues with killings and justification of killing and all, this is not what it is about. Okay, this is not what it is about. Whether it was justified, whether it was not justified. I'm talking about on the story level, what has happened, and what are the lessons that we can learn from each portion, from each story, to implement into our own stories. What can we do with that into our own stories? So the way that it is written, why he did that, why he killed them on the altar, was because Hukineh Hashem, he was jealous for God. Now, as I started this broadcast, if you notice on the title, I wrote J Zealous, right? J line and Zealous. Why? Because jealous and zealous are spelled in English almost the same, just with exceptions of J and Z. In Hebrew, it is one word. It means kin'ah, jealousy. But that same word is a pivotal word. So it could also mean zealous, being zealous. There we go. Somebody find it very entertaining. Well, I'm here at the tree house on top of the hills on the valley. So kin'ah. So what happened here, he was zealous, Pinchas was zealous to the name of God and to the sanctity of God, and he went right away and attacked him. So if we ask, according to just what is jealousy, right? Let's take the word jealous, because being zealous is you are being jealous to your cause, meaning you care about your cause. Rashi, who was one of the sages and a commentator, very great commentator, and a spiritual visionary, he said that jealousy, kin'ah, is where you put your heart in. Jealousy, kin'ah, is where you put your heart in. So you will always you will always be jealous because you care. Now, you could use jealousy for revenge. Let's say somebody did something and you're jealous, or you could use jealousy for good, for doing, for creating, right? For helping, for pushing forward, for doing good. You could use jealousy for good. You could use jealousy for not so good. Just like you could use anger. Anger is a great motivator. Right? But let's talk about the jealousy and what are the processes that one goes through when they're jealous, and we'll look at it according to the Hebrew letters. So if you like the Hebrew letters, we'll play with those a little bit. And so he was jealous, and so Rashi says the jealous is where you put your heart in. And the interesting point is, in English, when I want somebody to pay attention, I say, hey, could you please pay attention? In Hebrew, the word is sim lev. Sim lev, meaning put your heart here for a second. Okay? Put your heart here for a second. This is what in Hebrew pay attention means, is called sim lev. Put your heart here. So jealousy comes from the involvement of the heart, right? Comes from the involvement of the heart, from our ego, from our, and then we can go down, we can trickle down the tree to find out where is this ego. Is this fear? Is this because that person wants something, has something that I don't have? And there are different kinds of jealousness or zealousness, if we'll talk about it in English, right? And so we will look at the words of kin'ah to see how that plays out. So if we look at the word kuf, next time I'm going to bring prop cards. Kuf, I'm going to draw it so you can imagine it's like it's going from right to left. Okay, so it goes like this, and then there is a line goes this way. It's like hey, the fifth letter, but it has a long arm going down, be underneath all the lines of the letters. Okay? And then there is the letter nun, the 50th letter, or the 50th in gematria. There's a gematria in English, and it looks like some like this. It's like somebody is sitting with their head kind of bent and with their legs spread. So there's somebody who sits very small kind of thing. Right? And then there is the letter Aleph, which is a line and two squiggly lines going out. It's like two little flames. So The the um, the letter kuf. Now every letter has a positive and has a negative. So the letter kuf is, because it's going down, the way that it goes down, it talks about collapse. It's a collapse of systems. This is what happened in the this is what happened when somebody goes through jealousy. There are three stages that are happening when somebody is going through jealousy. First of all, there is the letter kuf, which is collapsing of systems, system collapse. You are faced with a situation. You don't know why this is happening. You don't know what's happening. Whether you are jealous of somebody, whether you are upset of, you're jealous of somebody because somebody has something. Maybe you're jealous to your wife or to your husband because you feel that they are doing something that is against what you agreed upon. You know, so you can be jealous to that person, and when that happens, there is a collapse of systems. There is something, is like a shock, like deer in front of a headlight. Like this. All right, okay, it's happening internally. Okay, noon, the letter noon in its good place means humility. Humility, being responsive to others, being aware of the lay of the land. Okay? But in the negative inclination, it means depressed, going into oneself. And this is the place where you start, when one would start feeling negative about themselves, so judging themselves. Right? And then the letter Aleph at the end, okay? The letter Aleph at the end, which means flame. It's flammable. It's a flammable letter. It's a flammable letter. Why? Because the Aleph has two flames. This is the spiritual flammable. So, in the good sense, Aleph would be an enlightenment, somebody who is always curious about spirituality, about beyond, about more than just what is seen to the naked eye, um, or the unnaked eye, um, or the filtered eye. Right? Somebody who is, especially if it's in the name, is somebody who is zealous about learning, zealous about discovering. So, but when you take it to the negative, the fire can be used somewhere else. So when you have a jealousy, the person goes through three stages. It goes through the collapse, the system that is like, oh, what is going on? Then there is the going into oneself, and making movies. And this is the part that is a theme all throughout our lives. We make movies. We make movies in our head. Every single minute we make a movie in our head because we believe what we perceive. First of all, we perceive and then we believe. So when we believe what we perceive, when I see somebody who is, I don't know, I believe that that's happened, but I really don't know what the story is, then then I believe what I'm perceiving. So I make movies, and we make movies. And so when in that depressed state we make movies, when the fire, the aleph, the spiritual or the emotional fire comes into play, what it is being fed upon? It is being fed upon the noon of the depression that came from the kuf of the jealousy of the collapse of systems. So that goes back to, what place do we inhabit when we ask for something? What place do we inhabit when we choose something? What place do we inhabit when we get up in the morning? Where am I choosing to be? Right. So these are the stages that the person goes through a jealousy. So when they experience the place of jealousy. Now, is every jealousy bad? Or let's put it this way. I don't like to use bad, but I use the word bad for that. But is every jealousy kind of jealous negative? No. The jealousy for something that is, that, let's say I'm looking at somebody. I see their life. I see they're sitting now on a yacht. They are enjoying the sun. They're going meditations in the desert. They're on the beach all day. Every time, I don't know what their life is. I don't know how the life manifested. I don't know what is happening. So I can be jealous of something that is only a portion of the movie of what I'm perceiving to believe. Right? So now there is being jealous for writers' jealousy, zealousy. I want to respond first of all before I continue. I hear you saying, yes, yes, Gina, yes, yes, yes. History, Gina is mentioning an interesting point. It's not about we like or not. It's just like what I say, the truth beyond history. Truth, which includes the history of what happened, this will happen, A, B, C, D, F, E went for a break. Truth has no emotions. Truth has no emotions. It is what it is. So if we take history, for example, history is like you can like it or not like it. This is what it's an event. It's an event that happened because of people that were in certain places in their life and in their own kind of relationship place that made these choices. Right? It's the same like when we make a choice. What place do we inhabit within ourselves when we make a choice? So, jealousy versus zealousy. Jealousy, right? And if you're Jewish, it's Jewish zealousy, then it becomes guilt. Hey, okay. So now, uh, now let's take. So again, is jealousy writer's jealousy? Is that that's perfect. That's wonderful. I remember my dad when I was a kid. He used to tell me, "Do not ever be jealous of anything of anybody. There is only one thing that you can be jealous of and ask for, and that's wisdom and knowledge." And that I remember taking this. That's one of the things that I remember from my father. That the wisdom, ask for wisdom, because if you have wisdom, you have everything. Really, if you have, you can see everything like it is also, and life is easier. I believe so. Life is easier. Life is explainable beyond what I can understand. So I can understand and I see that things are the way they are. Also, if I don't like them or agree to them, but they are the way they are because the way they are, and it is okay. It is a different system. It is a different system than my system. So, so here's the thing. The Kabbalah is talking about our soul that has in a function of three lines, three vertical lines. And if you look at the tree of the Sefirot of Kabbalah, you see that they are aligned basically around three lines, vertical lines. The right side, you're looking, yeah, the right side is Chesed, is compassion, is the Chesed. The left side is Gvura, is more justice, more dinim laws, so it is more strict. So chesed is the compassion, the kindness. The left one is gvura, which are the laws, the strictness, and the middle is tiferet. Tiferet, which it is the glorifying of the glory, the glorification of glory in the spiritual sense, right? So now, just like these three lines, there are also three numbers: 6, 7, and 8. Where 6, I think this is an animal. No. Anyway, so the six is everything physical. 8, everything physical, everything that is in this realm, in this place that is physical. 8 is everything that is spiritual, everything that is esoteric. And 7 is the synergy between the two. Now, when we look at people and how we are, they are operating from three lines. We're either a giver, somebody who is a giver, somebody who is in chesed and is a giver, is always giving, is somebody who cannot say no to other people, somebody who cannot be a disagreement. They don't like confrontation, so they don't know how to say no. And those are usually people that are always givers, givers, givers. And if you recognize yourself, you can recognize also the depletion that happens sometimes from giving and giving and giving. And and the number and something. I think somebody is dropping. So we have the giver, the person who gives all the time, doesn't know how to say no. Then there is the person who is going only by what is straight lines, black and white. This is, I don't want a dime from you. This is yours, but this is mine. I don't want to give anything. This is whatever is exact. Like somebody who is also, they have hard time in society because it's always. And then there is the tiferet. Then there is the understanding and the deployment of our wisdom to see when to give, how to give, and when to be online, when to be in truth, when not to be in truth. Right? So if somebody is, how do you know if you are, if you are, if you are, you are okay? Like if you feel in society. I heard this week. I talked to several people this week, several magnificent people that expressed to me how their insertion, how they're coming back to society life has affected them because they feel that they're not connected. They feel that they're not connected. That they cannot connect. They cannot relate. So how do you know if you are okay? Many times this can raise questions. Am I okay? Am I doing something okay? Am I being okay with others? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. So then what happens, you can go into this sitting small and beating yourself up. Well, ask yourself this. Ask yourself, are you of chesed? Are you only a giver? Or are only you a lawmaker or a law taker? Or are you in the middle? This will give you an indication of where you're standing in relation to others. So when we're looking at the kin'ah, the kin'ah, again, those three letters, kana, kuf, nun, aleph, those are the three stages that somebody goes through. And depends where you're coming from, these three lines, chesed, gvura, or tiferet, you can definitely understand and know and find out, are you jealous or are you zealous? And that is something that opened my eyes so many times in different scenarios and different situations. I want to respond here. Uh, yeah, right. Great questions. There we go. That's the question. Do I learn? When was the last time I felt jealousy? When was the last time I felt? I'll tell you where I always feel jealous. Always feel jealous, like when I'm looking at Mati Kaspi, for example, music. All the time. It is magic for me. It is magic for me um, to experience, to see how music is created. Music is the soul of the world. Music, the music, the frequencies are the soul of the world. This is like the highest, and when music happens, I'm all trembling inside. So that I can say that. As far as other things, um, I don't remember now because stuff is not a something that I'm jealous about. It's just it's there or it's not. There were times where I had enough of that. There was time that I had enough of that. There was time that, and each time the enough was a different level. So, but this is a wonderful conversation starter. What place? I know when I lived in Israel, something comes to mind. It was in a relationship. That was a long time ago, before I even started to understand the concept of what the journey is. But I can look at myself then, and I can see that I was operating on completely a different vibration level, on a different level, on a level that did not still yet go down or penetrate deeper because I didn't experience what I had or what I was about to experience. So it wasn't a conscious. It was just operating based on my emotions, based on my desires. Oh, I feel this. Boom. He probably is doing this, or he's probably that, or you know. I've been as I'm talking, I can say another thing. I've been to groups. I've been part of groups where I felt I didn't feel connected at all. I didn't feel connected at all, but I wasn't connected to myself to understand I'm not connected. And therefore, that took me to a place of depletion, the place of depression, the place of not enough, not good enough, not seeing that I was giving at that particular time, and not in the other place. And it was very toxic and took a lot of time to practice this and to come out of that. But we have to go through this to experience that. So it's like the menu and the dish. I can look at the menu, I can know exactly what it is, but without tasting it, I don't know what that feels like. So thank you for all these questions. These are great. These are great, and for all the observations. So jealousy. Jealousy is an aspect that I ask you to look around what's going on. What's going on in our lives, what's going on in our life as a society, what's going on in our life personally, individually, what is our relationship to things. The recent reversal of the Roe with abortions in the United States is pathetically ridiculous. That sends U.S. ages ago. I mean, it's so here is a point that can be zealous for a cause. Somebody can be zealous for a cause. In Hebrew, it'll sound, I'm jealous for the cause, but it's actually zealous for the cause. So it is kind of jealousy. Why? Because I put my heart into that place. I put my heart into that place, and I want to see that good comes out of it. And what is the good? To eliminate those heads, those not heads that are making these kind of decisions that are sending us a million light years away. But as I talk about this, politicians are here so we can get a feeling as if we have a free choice in voting, but we really don't. So I don't want to involve this here, but the zealousy part of it, being jealous for a cause, putting that matter of life and of danger and of safety in our heart and of love, first of all, in our heart, and being jealous about that, to preserve that, and not just to preserve that, but to teach it to our next generation so they can grow and blossom and be not just jealous, but be zealous about life, zealous about love, zealous about one another. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. Alive. Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to see you, and I'll see you soon.